morning, students. In our today online class, we are going to learn Unit 9 Matter Around Us. In our last online class, we have seen the topic Symbols of Elements, Greek Symbols, Alchemist Symbols, Dalton Symbols, Berzelius symbol, and then present system for determining symbols of the elements. Let me once again recall what we had saw in our last online class. Students, totally there are 118 elements occur naturally on the earth, and then some are created in laboratory by scientists. And then symbols of elements. So symbols of element is the shorthand form. So symbols of elements is the shorthand form called as symbols, or name of an element is represented by shorthand form called as symbol. And Greek symbols. So Greek symbol is in the form of geometrical shapes. So there are four basic elements around us such as earth, air, fire and water are represented by geometrical shapes. Here they given for example for Greek symbols: air, water, fire and then earth. And then alchemist symbol. So alchemist symbol is the person who tried to change less valuable metal into gold, and then that process was called as alchemy. And then men who did this work were known as alchemists. And then Dalton symbol. So Dalton symbol is based on pictorial symbols. So those symbols are difficult to draw, hence they are not used. Only of historical importance. And then Berzelius symbol. So Berzelius symbols is devised symbol using letters of alphabet rather than sign. The modified version of Berzelius symbol system follows under heading System for Determining Symbols of the Elements. And then our present system for determining symbols of the element. First rule: the symbol of the most common elements, mainly non-metals, are used the first letter of their English name. So here the given example: boron, B, carbon, C, fluorine, F, etc. And then second rule: if two elements have same first letter, then the first and second letters of the name are used as symbol. See here example: aluminium, Al, barium, Ba, beryllium, Be, etc. And then rule third: If the first two letters of the name of the elements are same, then the symbol consists of first letter and second or third letter of the English name that they do not have in common. Example: organ, AR; arsenic, AS; chlorine, Cl, etc. And then fourth rule: some symbol are used on the basis of their Greek name or Latin name of the elements. So totally there are such 7 elements. Here example they given: sodium, natrium, symbol Na; potassium, kalium, symbol K. And then our fifth rule to write symbol: some elements are named using the name of the country, scientist, color, mythological character, and planet. So example are Americium, name, symbol Am, name derived from America country. Europeum, symbol EU, name derived from Europe country. And then our today's topic is writing the symbols. Children, while writing the symbol for an element, we should adhere meaning to follow the rules. If the element has a single English letter as a symbol, it should be written in capital letter. And then second rule: for elements having two letter symbols, the first letter should be in capital followed by the small letter. These two rules are very, very important. And then our next important topic is metals and non-metals. Children, the progress of man towards civilization is linked with the discovery of several metals and non-metals. Example for metals: iron, copper, silver, gold, etc. Example for non-metals: oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, etc. So even today, the index of the prosperity of a country depends upon the amount of metals and non-metals is produced. The wealth of the country is measured by the amount of, very important, the wealth of the country is measured by the amount of gold in its reserve. An element can be identified as metals or non-metals by comparing its property with the general properties of metals and non-metals. So in doing so, we find that some elements neither fit with the metals nor with the non-metals, and such elements are termed as metalloids or semi-metal. So such elements are called as semi-metals or metalloids. Elements are classified into metals, non-metals, and metalloids based on their properties. Students, elements are classified into 3 types on base of the properties. They are metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Let me explain you one by one. First topic is metals. Here they given some examples for metals. First one is iron, second one is copper, third one is gold, and then fourth one is silver. So these all are some examples for metals and that we use in our daily life are metals. The properties and uses of metals are given here. First one is the physical properties of metals. So very important 5-mark question. Physical properties of metals. Metals are solid under normal condition of temperature and pressure. So first point, metals are solid under what? Normal condition of temperature and pressure. So that is the first point. And then second one is metals are hard. So we know that iron, gold, silver are hard substance. And then third point, all metals are shiny. We know that gold is a shining metal and also silver also example for shining metals. So metals are shiny. The typical shine of metals is called metallic luster. And then metals generally have high density when compared to non-metal. So metals generally have high density. And then fourth one is metals in general have high melting point and boiling point. So they have high melting and boiling point. And then metal can be hammered into very thin sheet. So when you observed in some sweet shop, on the top surface of the sweet, they decorate with silver paper. So metals can be hammered into very thin sheet. So this tendency of metal is called malleability. So what is meant by malleability? Metals can be hammered into very thin sheet. So this tendency of metals is called as malleability. And then using this property, aluminium is transformed into silvery foils. And then metals can be drawn into thin wire. This property of metal is called ductility. Example, copper wire. For electrical purpose, we using copper wires can be drawn into thin wires. And also for making ornaments, we using gold wires. So this property of metals can be drawn into thin wires are called ductility. And then generally metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. So metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. And then on being hit, metals produce a typical sound. Hence they are said to be sonorous. So this property is being used in making temple bells. So metal produces some type of sound is known as sonorous. And then see, this is a shining metal. Next topic is activity. Take a battery and then few wire pieces, bulb, a nail, and a pencil lid. See here, this is a nail, battery, and then bulb. So first connect the nail in the circuit in the figure, and then is the bulb glowing or not? Now connect the pencil lid in the circuit. What do you observe is the question. Children, the bulb will glow because lead is a conductor. So you have to do by your own this activity and then observe the activity and give me the report. Uses of metals. Uses of metals. Iron is used for making bridges, engine parts, iron sheets and bar. So now we are learning the properties of metals and the uses of metals. So first use is iron is used for making bridges, engine parts, iron sheets and bars. And then second one is copper. Copper is used for making electrical wires, coins and statue. And then third uses silver and gold are used for making jewels and for decorative purposes and photography. And then mercury. So we know that mercury is a metal, liquid metal. So mercury is the only liquid metal is used in thermometers and barometers. So barometer is instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure because of its high density and uniform expansion at different temperature. And then aluminum is used in electrical wires, cables and in aerospace industries. And then lead. So lead is used in automobile batteries, X-ray machines. Students, up to this enough. Let me once again recall the properties and the uses of metals. So metals are solids, they are hard, and then metals are shiny, and then they have high density, and then metals have high melting point and boiling point, and then metals can be hammered into very thin sheet. Such property is known as malleability. And then metals can be drawn into thin wires. This property of metal is called ductility. Generally, metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. On being hit, metals produce typical sound. Hence, they are said to be sonorous. So, this property being used for making temple bell. And then uses of metals. Iron is used for making bridges, engine parts, iron sheet and bar. Copper is used for making electrical wire, coins, and statue. Silver and gold are used for making jewels and for decorative purposes and photography. And then mercury is used in thermometers and barometers because of its high density and uniform expansion at a different temperature. And then aluminum is used in electrical wires, cables, and in aerospace industries. And then last one, lead is used in automobile batteries, x-ray machine, etc. Students, up to this enough. Remaining topics we will discuss in our next online class. Thank you. Have a nice day.